Hi, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us again for our next installment of the WillScot Webinar Series. Today's session is the fabric of possibility, how Clearspan structures unlock new potential on every site. We've got a really good presentation for you here. We should keep it tight to about 30 minutes, might go under that. Our presentation will kick off and then we'll have a live Q&A at the end here. So in this session, what we're going to do is we're going to get to know what pre-engineered and specialty Clearspan structures are, explore how industries are solving real-world challenges with Clearspan. We're going to hear directly from our customers at Target who've used Clearspan to meet their unique project needs. And like I mentioned before, we'll have a live Q&A at the end. Our agenda ranges everywhere. We're going to introduce our experts and guest speakers. We'll talk about the challenges that come along with finding space solutions. We'll dive into Clearspan. Like we said, we'll talk a little bit about our customers at Target, and we'll also do some real-world applications along with the Q&A. So let's go ahead and meet our experts. We've got Nick Egloff with WillScot. He's the VP General Manager of Clearspan Structures at WillScot. As you can see here, he has a lot of experience with WillScot and with Clearspan Structures in general, and he's going to be a great one to kind of walk us through everything. Our guest speakers are Jayla Kiffmeyer from Target. She's a construction project manager. And then we have Tom Osmond from Target as well, who's been there for a little over 30 years with Target. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it back over to Nick, and he's going to kick us off by talking about the challenge.
Well, welcome everybody. Appreciate the time today. Really, you're on this call, and typically you've dealt with WillScot in the past because there's been some kind of a space solution that you've been trying to solve. And this is just a new solution that WillScot has from an offerings perspective. So when you think about space solutions that you may need on your site or wherever your project may be, when you're talking about some kind of a permanent type structure, that can create a lot of roadblocks when you talk about your business and your operations. Building a permanent structure, deadlines can slip while you're waiting on the permanent building to be put up. It can be expensive if you want to talk about leasing some other already existing brick and mortar property, and you may get locked into more space than you may even need, and it might not be in the location that you want that building to be to help you with your problem. With that can come, lost customers. When you can't scale up your business fast enough or put it in the right location, that can really be a detriment to your business. Events and projects, suffer from poor fit and limited options when you talk about space solutions and how you can best utilize them. That can result in, delays, lost revenue for you, and then other missed opportunities inside of your business. So how can WillScot help, solve some of those problems with, the additional offerings that we do have? So Clearspan Solutions. So that's another option, again, that expands on the temporary space solutions that WillScot provides. So what are these? So they're fast to deploy. They're structures that install quickly. It can be with minimal site prep. They're scalable. So they span large areas without interior columns. Sometimes we have to have interior columns, but these are completely interior column free. And they're adaptable to the footprint and also add height needs that some other temporary space solutions may not necessarily provide. There is vertical space options that come with this product type. They're durable. So these products are engineered to withstand weather, with options to create it feel more like a true space as well, not just a covered work area. They're versatile as well. They're suited for temporary, semi-permanent, and/or long-term use. So as we start to go through some of this, really think about how could I use a Clearspan structure for a space solution for me today. We'll go through a couple of examples of use cases and applications, but really the possibilities are endless for this product based on what your need is. So we'll talk to Target about how they came up with a unique solution for and use this product for a problem that they had. But again, keep an open mind of how I could potentially use this product on my site or for my project. So just some high-level pieces on Clearspan. We carry two main product types when we talk about our Clearspan offerings. The first being our A-frame structure. It comes in 4 standard widths, pre-engineered widths that we carry. And the unique thing about these Clearspan structures, both product types that I'll talk about, is from a length perspective, they can go as long as you need, and the engineering doesn't really change too much. Basically, they increase length in about 16-foot increments. So whatever the expansiveness of your project needs are, we have a product that can fit that footprint and that need. We also have integratable solutions, like I mentioned earlier, with roll-up doors, manual doors, lighting, flooring solutions. So that's kind of the main product type for product type 1 with our A-frame. And then the second type is our tension fabric structure. This is a more robustly engineered product, really meant for bigger spaces and also to support the more inclement weather type spaces from a wind and snow capacity perspective. Same thing, this comes in 4 standard widths that we'll touch on in a bit. But also that whole length perspective, the same principle applies here from an engineering perspective. Everything it can be expanded and lengthened in 16-foot increments. Again, to cover that large footprint need that you may have. Also has integratable doors, flooring, HVAC, lighting, all those additional things to make it feel like more of a space that you can use based on your need. So a little bit more about each of those solutions that we do carry. So for the A-frame structure that we do have, it's available in 33 feet wide, 50 feet wide, 66 feet wide, and 100 feet wide. The ceiling heights can go up to about 26 feet, and that's at the peak. So at the peak of your structure, it can get as high as 26 feet. The wider you go, the higher that clearance gets. Again, these are quick assembly up and down products that are used through the majority of the US. And then from a tension fabric perspective, these come in a larger profile, so 66 feet wide, 96 feet wide, 126 feet wide, and 157 feet wide. And the peak heights, as you can see, are much higher, so up to 54 feet high from a peak perspective. And when we talk about vertical space, this is where you get more vertical space in a tension fabric product. So when you talk about, and also, sorry, more robust from a weather condition perspective. So the peak and the roof is actually sloped and designed to shed snow. So that enables us to put it in higher wind and snow rated areas based on your need and where you need to put the structure up temporarily for whatever your use case may be. So, we'll do a couple of touch points here on, and again, common use cases, but as I stated before, the applications of these products are really endless. But when you think about, your A-frame structure and how it can be used, it's used a lot of construction site storage, covered work areas. It can be used for temporary retail and warehousing, seasonal equipment and inventory shelters. We can even be used for sports and or recreation facilities. And then also for event space or temporary pavilion space. Again, this is just a few examples of applications of this product. And then the tension fabric product, when we think about it, heavy duty industrial operations, large scale logistics and industrial hubs, aircraft hangars, transportation facilities, manufacturing and long-term warehousing. And then even if we need to have a high capacity venues with higher clearance, these products are both great for those applications. One of the other products that we do and services that we do carry as well are our specialty structures. So typically these are used for some of the higher end event and trade show type applications. They can be used in sporting events and also in concerts. So these are unique structures in different shapes and sizes. Depending on whatever your specialty need might be, they're highly customizable and configurable. We can create different floor plans and layouts. We can integrate different wall types. We can have glass walls, second stories, 2-story structures. So a versatile way to create a true impactful event or space based on whatever your needs can be. We can also do customized graphics on the outside to create any kind of facade or branding that you may need to either show your interior, your employees and or your exterior customers. So really, again, when I talk about the possibilities being endless, the customized and specialty Clearspan structures can create whatever your marketing team can come up with from a creative perspective to showcase whatever you're trying to do. But that's some of the capabilities of our customized and specialty Clearspan structures. So again, a little bit on the real world applications and how these can be used. I think you jumped one. There you go. So again, we see it a lot in the construction world. The pre-engineered product in the construction world, again, used for covered work areas, keep your crews protected year round. On-site storage to protect material and equipment from any of the harsh weather conditions that are out there. Break room facilities for larger scale construction projects. In the event world, as I just kind of touched on with our specialty products, for large scale venues or festivals, sporting events, community gatherings, all those things are all customizable for those layouts that are needed from those creative teams that make it created. And then retail as well. We have Target on here. You talk about seasonal overflow space that may be needed during peak inventory times of the year. These can also be used for temporary sales floors. If you're remodeling the inside of your building and you need a temporary space to actually operate out of while that construction is going, and you don't want to change locations, you can put up a temporary structure to house the staff that you have. So again, just a couple of examples, but at the end of the day, again, the possibilities are really endless from this product of how you want to apply it. And the footprint is just the beginning of this whole space solution piece. Again, we can expand on that. Instead of it just being a covered space, an enclosed space, we can add lighting, we can add furniture, flooring options. We can integrate temperature control for both AC and heating and floor level fans. Doors that are integratable from a personnel door to a roll-up door, and on we can go to make it really feel like a true building or structure that you would be working in and out of on a daily basis. So as we expand on that, and as your need changes, we can create a better environment for that structure for you to make it feel like a true operational advantage for you. And speaking of real world application and how this product can be a space solution provider for, and, we have Jayla and Tom from Target on to talk about how they found Clearspan to be a great solution for their space problem that they were challenged with from a Target perspective, how they used it in the past, and now they're going to continue to use it. So Jayla and Tom, would love for you guys to share your experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, Tom and I are both on the remodel team at Target. So our projects are going into existing stores where we still have customers, we still have team members working. They're actively an active store while we're also going in and doing construction. So we don't have space in their stock room or anything that we can put any of our construction materials. So everything has to be in a boneyard in the parking lot. So we have found great use of Clearspace. One thing we really like about it is how quickly it can go up and down. So we like to hit the ground running at Target. We typically have our deliveries, setting up the boneyard, and demo all happening that very first week. So being able to receive deliveries and put them in a safe place right away, for the team to have that set up with all the rest of the containers that are coming in at the same time, that makes us really efficient at the beginning when it comes to organization and prep in the boneyard. Another thing we like about it is how large they are. It makes it great for getting equipment in and out of. It makes it a really flexible space. Teams can use it differently, depending on the project that they need or depending on where we are in the stage of the project. So the fact that it's just big and open allows our teams to rearrange it as they need, whether it comes to equipment or materials, and again, keeps us efficient on site.
And then on, from my take, the sensitive aspects that you talk about, we have a lot of powered equipment we do in remodels, and it could be power jacks, other devices for construction. Having that option to not leave them outside, but to put them in the structure and lock it up at night and also go right back in the next day and use it has been very beneficial. So it almost creates a mini stockroom, mini construction stockroom to be able to go in and out of. And it saves a lot of productivity, which in normal, we have multiple containers that we are locking up. We're pulling things out in the morning and in the afternoon, in and out. This saves a lot of time. We're able to create almost, very organized buildings in the parking lot that we can go in and out of all day. And I work oftentimes in urban areas where we don't have a lot of third-party storage available, or even to release them takes sometimes months, if not years. Having these little mini buildings at these project sites has been it's just been a great benefit for a lot of different projects we do, especially when we're trying to go in and out and be done within the course of 12 to 20 weeks. So yeah, and I think the productivity part of it, while sometimes the cost might be different as far as between multiple containers, but the labor costs have been fantastic to save.
Yeah, another big benefit is we're fortunate Target is all over the US, and the US has a wide range of weather. So, in the markets that I work in, we're typically doing projects in peak rainy season. So, I'm in the southeast of the US. So, as we are preparing for hurricane season, it is raining sometimes every day. So, being able, like Tom mentioned, to keep that valuable equipment dry no matter what is a big deal. And because of the big space in the tent, when we have to stage it or get it ready, then our teams are in a place where they're not getting wet and they're safe from any weather. And then our Target being a Minnesota-based company, I don't work where it's cold, but my peers that work where it's cold, they love that it also protects from snow and ice, and they can be productive in those months where typically other people would not be able to do any work, because these allow them to be able to still move and set up a boneyard when it is snowing. And then Tom has a unique experience in a different area of the US.
Yes, and I work a lot in the Southwest, and the sun can be a very unbearable partner for you all day long. And a lot of times at Target, we have a lot of plastic components. We're building things that we then bring to the building. Having these structures, it shields people from the sun. It shields not only the human beings but also the equipment and the materials of the sun, which might sit out there and melt. Sun faded. These have been a great tool in Nevada, California. The contractors love them. They always want us to do them. So the advantages to them are usually great. And most projects, if not all, that we've used them on, I can confirm that the advantages outweighed any space or any other challenges that may have come with it.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for all the input. This is just one great example, as I stated, of how advantageous this product can be to solve your space solutions. So thank you guys for your input on the great opportunities and use cases for Clearspan structure. Appreciate it. And don't forget, Clearspan structures are just one of the additional offerings from a temporary space solution that WillScot provides, right? And we talk about total site solutions. We also have our portable classrooms, temperature controlled storage, our dry storage, our fencing options, our mobile offices, modular office buildings, and then our portable restrooms. So we continue to want to be your temporary space solutions provider and site solutions provider. So don't forget about all the other options that we have out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much, Tom and Jayla. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into our Q&A. Throughout the presentation, we had a few people drop some questions in here. And so if you're still on the line and you have more questions as they come up, please feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll answer them to the best of our ability as quickly as possible. We've got 9 more minutes left on this presentation. If there are any questions that we don't have a chance to get to, we will reach out directly to you after this presentation. Okay, so the first question that I have here from the chat is permitting required? And I think, Nick, that'll be for you.
Yeah, so it's going to be variable based on jurisdiction. So we find some jurisdictions that, just like in our modular office world, where permitting is not going to be required. So it's really going to depend on where you're going to be operating and wanting to install these structures. But again, these do have engineering with them. that we can provide based on whatever permits you may need to do, and we can help supply the necessary engineering specs and everything for the structures to help with that permitting process if you're running into that.
Awesome. Then we've got another one here that says, is WillScot a Clearspan dealer, or is Clearspan WillScot now?
So I think the reference might be a little bit confusing. So it's Clearspan Structures. So that's just how we have categorized the temporary the temporary tent structure. That's just what we're calling the category. So I think there may be some confusion around the Clearspan specific product, but these are manufactured overseas. And so we have a supplier overseas that we purchase from and then distribute through the U.S. as a rental product.
Awesome. And that just kind of goes into the next one. Are these available for sale or only available for rent?
The main source is rental, right? Because I think the last thing most of our customers want to deal with is something that goes up and then they have to deal with something happening, damage that were happened to the piece of equipment or to the structure itself, and they have to figure out how to fix it. Especially considering that these structures are manufactured overseas, so you can't go down the street to a store and fix if something gets damaged. It does require some specialty to it. So leasing is the main purpose of the building for temporary space, but we can sell them though. There are absolutely options where we can structure a sale of the building itself. But again, we just want to avoid some of the risks that can come on to one of our customers buying one of these and something going wrong and not being able to fix it or get something quickly responded to.
Awesome. We've got a couple more. This one is asking, I think, about more so completing, completing their space. Can you change doors and or add accessories at different times after the initial setup? So I think they're asking if you can change doors out once that whole structure is built.
We can. So when you think about the structure itself, there are structural components of the building itself, and then the add-on components aren't structurally relevant. So you can take a door and move it from one spot to another bay and then close up the spot that was there before with our fabric. But you can absolutely change configurations, as it were, based on your changing needs.
Perfect. The last question that I have here in the Q&A is, let's see, who do we contact for pricing in Indiana?
So just reach out to our normal, if you want to go through our normal portal on our website, and it can get you routed to whatever salesperson there would need to be to help you with your pricing and space needs. But we have a large capability from a sales perspective and coverage perspective. We are all over the U.S. except for Hawaii and Alaska. So reach out via our website, and we will absolutely get you in touch with the right person to help consult you on the proper space solutions that you may need.
Awesome. I'm going to check one more time and just see if there's any questions left. All right. That is all of them. So with that being said, that wraps up the Q&A section of our portion of this webinar. So in conclusion, like Nick said, you can visit our website at willscot.com, or you can call this number right here, which is for sales. Anybody can help you out. We'll get you to the right place. We'll help you understand how Clearspan structures can work for your next site. So your next steps here, after this presentation ends, you'll have the opportunity to complete a survey. It's just a really couple of short questions. However, because this survey is anonymous, if you do say that you want to have more of a conversation or you want to schedule a time, please just include your email address at minimum. Email, phone number, name would be great. That way we can reach out to you directly and set something up. You'll have the opportunity to request a webinar recording, and then you'll also have the opportunity to register for some upcoming webinars. We've got one more that we haven't revealed yet. That's going to be coming up probably in November. So keep an eye out for that. But with that being said, thank you again. We really value your time. Thank you, Tom and Jayla, for joining us today, and Nick for leading the presentation. We appreciate you. So take care, everybody, and thanks for joining.
Thank you.